guys, it's Becky. I'm back with another process video. Today I am going to be using some simple stories paper for my layout, and all of these embellishments, well, I'm not going to use all of these embellishments, but they are from the Simple Stories Posh collection. And what had happened was I got some of the chipboard, the 6x12 chipboard, in a kit, but I had also purchased them because I didn't know I was going to be getting it in a kit. So I have just a bunch of this stuff left over. I had ran out of the paper already, so I ordered, they didn't have it available. I think I got it at scrapbook.com, the paper. They didn't have it available anymore, so I ended up buying a couple pieces of the Simple Stories Faith collection papers to go with those embellishments, because the Simple Stories embellishments, they're very specific to me. It's hard to mix and match with other lines that much. I just want to make it easy on myself, right? So right here I'm going to go ahead and cut my papers up. I am cutting the middle out of this one because it's a diagonal stripe and I love diagonal stripes. I am cutting it to 9x12. I've been on this 9x12 kick, and what happened was I was going through my scrap bin and had a bunch of big chunks of paper left, and so I started doing 9x12s with those papers that were left, and they're so much fun, right? So I've been doing quite a bit of the 9x12. Well, yesterday I was working on a layout and it was a 12x12, and it is still sitting on my desk because I can't finish it. I just don't know what to do. I'm so used to the 9x12s now. So I'm going to have to work on that later. Anyways, I'm using this diagonal stripe paper as my border. There's a 1/4 inch on the top, the left-hand side, and the bottom side. And I'm going to use this pink paper just as the base. Those right there are photos of my mom. I printed them. I tried to print them with a white border, and it didn't work so well, so I ended up cutting them both down because the border was on the top and the bottom, but not on the sides, I think. So I just matted them on the back side of a piece of paper that was from a 12x12 paper sheet. I'm going to kind of lay this out a little bit like a grid. Now I knew I wanted that cupcake because these are photos of my mom, like I said, and her birthday was October 12th. So these were pictures that my nieces had taken at her birthday party. I wasn't there because, you know, they live 18 hours away, so, but I did steal the photos off of Facebook because that's what I do. I also knew I wanted to use these balloons because, of course, again, it was her birthday. So this was a good opportunity to get rid of, or use up, those two big chipboard birthday balloon pieces. And here's where I just pulled out a few pieces. I'm kind of maneuvering around. I came into this not really having a plan. I just knew I wanted to use the birthday stuff, or things that could be birthday stuff. I am going to use that sparkle at the top right there. I pulled out my ruler because I wanted to put 71. That 71 piece, you see it just suddenly appeared. I cut that off of my silhouette, 2 layers of white and then 1 layer of the pattern paper. Right here I'm pulling out some white gesso and also my brayer, and I'm painting on the brayer to kind of put it down onto the paper. I wanted it to be just a little bit messy. And here in a minute I'll show you why I didn't originally just dip it in to the gesso. This is the look I was going for. It's kind of a washed look. Well, at this point I get tired of the whole painting the brayer and putting it on. Wanted a little bit more, so I globbed it on right there. Big glob. That's not the look I wanted. I wanted the washed, faded, you can see the lines look. It's okay, I do work with it. I am going to pull out my Kuretake watercolors, and I just put some of this light aqua onto a piece of scrap paper because I couldn't find any packaging, and just kind of put it in those 2 corners. I'm just kind of tapping it onto the page. And then I'm going to use the gold out of that same set, that same Kuretake set, and just splatter it around the page. It is a deeper gold than what you get with the Heidi Swapp Color Shine, but it still has a sparkle in it. It's really pretty. That Kuretake set also comes with a nice copper that looks good with, you remember the Schmelz Go Now Go line that has that really pretty copper? It does have the copper in it. I do use that with some of her stuff at a later point. Actually, it was before this, but I haven't done a video on it. And you saw there I had switched the photos around because at first I had that Snapchat filter one at the top left while I moved it over to where it would be on the bottom right, and the other photo up at the top. Here I was impatient. I'm just drying it up a little bit with my heat gun because I didn't feel like waiting. Usually I will do my videos in advance, and this week I didn't. So I just wanted to get done and get this up. Alright, so I'm going to lay all the pieces back out. I am going to put down those balloons with some wet adhesive. So my title on this is just going to be Sparkle at 71. I put another little balloon down there at the bottom right that just kind of mimics the one at the top left. The one at the bottom right is a sticker though. And these are some little chipboard flowers. There's one down there on the cupcake and one up there by the 71. Here I'm just trying to get the photos straight-ish. So this is kind of, like I said before, it's kind of a loose grid style. I'm going to stick that right there. This is a photo that Kayla had taken of Mom. Now I cut Kayla out, and in the top photo was a photo Brandy had taken with Mom, and I cut Brandy out. You can see her forehead though. Mom's cheeks resting on her forehead. But I will do the other photos of them as well. But on this particular layout in my journaling, I'm just talking about Mom. So I just cut those girls out. Sorry girls. I do have the original pictures, or the other pictures that I will do a layout of as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this other photo down. I am using liquid adhesive on the back of my photos as well because I have the gesso and that paint down. It's just a little bit of paint. Mostly what I wanted was the gesso just to kind of wash it out, because here's what I was thinking. I'm having a grid style going on, and I needed to kind of signify that somehow, and I was going to just cut a block of paper and put it behind there and just have like a photo block that the embellishments in the photos rested on. And I decided not to do that. I do that a whole lot, so I went with this effect instead. I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm going to put a piece of chipboard on top of a piece of chipboard. I am going to have to pop up the underside of that top layer of chipboard with some foam tape. That's what I'm doing here. So it's been really fun experimenting with different sizes of layouts. I have in the past done quite a few 8.5 by 11s, which were fun, but here recently is the first time I've done the 9 by 12s, and it is a lot of fun. But it's hard to get back to 12 by 12s after you've been doing them for a little while. Alright, this is almost how it's going to be. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with that flower because there's that empty space over the side, so I pulled out this little shine thinking that would work okay over there. I don't end up keeping that there. I put a chipboard piece on top of Mom's photo because that was a big blank space as well. And it's kind of like a stamp that says love on it. That is going to go away as well. I will lose some footage, and in the place of that, where that stamp was above the photo, I put a little sticker that says this moment. And underneath the photo, there was a big space. You can see it right there. I put a blue sticker that says so lovely on it. Here I'm just sticking down the sparkle in the 71, and I do hold it in place for a minute because of the gesso on the background. This gesso I have is a Liquitex, and it is kind of gritty. Usually it's gritty. Usually the clear is gritty, but I use the white and it still feels, yeah, it still feels a little gritty. I'm sitting here touching it. I'm going to go ahead and commit to this balloon. I do have to pop the right hand side of that balloon up with some foam tape as well. I just cut the ribbon off of it because I'm going to stick this little epoxy flower down over the bottom of that string. This epoxy flower was on those bobby pin embellishments that came out with this collection. You know how that's been kind of a thing lately. Sometimes it's hard for me to use the bobby pin portion, so I just pop off the epoxy piece and use it as an embellishment. I'm going to do a little bit of journaling down here at the bottom. I do draw the lines with a pencil, and I'm going to write over with this gray Stettler pen. Right here I'm writing at with a pencil, and I'm just going to go over it with that same gray Stettler pen. get an eraser and erase my lines. Sometimes I will write the journaling with pencil and then go over them with ink. I don't know if I did that on this one or not. I don't think I did, except for that at, because it's not really scripty. You know, it's not really any kind of hand lettering. It's just my handwriting. Okay, I'm showing you the Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Gold, and even though I already put splatters down with that Karataki watercolor paint, I am going to use the Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Gold as well. Like I said, the Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Gold is more of a bright, and the Karataki is more of a darker, shiny color. I'm going to soak up a little bit of the extra from the drops with this little piece of a paper towel, and then I'm also going to dry it because I want to go in with some enamel dots. And I know me, I always get my sleeve or something into the wet color shine, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I am going to dry it up with my heat tool and then pull out the enamel dots. I'm going to give those a good little sprinkling around the page. They remind me of sprinkles, which remind me of birthdays, which remind me of, you know, sprinkles, birthday cupcakes. So I'm going to give a good splattering around the page with those. You can see where I was talking about I put that sticker above the photo and the sticker below the photo. Alright guys, after I do that, I don't do anything else to the layout. I do have photos coming up at the end, but I just took them this morning about 9 o'clock, and it's overcast, so they do have a yellow tint to them. They're not fabulous, but they are there. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking this time out of your day to spend with me. That's very sweet. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.